Think your brand new TV will last for years? Some popular brands could leave you with a black screen just after the warranty expires. Today, we're revealing the TV brands with the biggest long-term reliability concerns and the warning signs every buyer should know. Stay until the end to avoid an expensive mistake and protect your hard-earned money. If this video helps you avoid overpaying, make sure to like and subscribe for more honest TV breakdowns. And comment below, do you watch TV in a bright room or a dark cinema setup? That one detail changes everything. The core problem: why buying a TV has become more confusing than ever. Imagine spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars on a brand new TV, only to watch it develop strange lines, flickering backlights, or refuse to power on just a couple of years later. Unfortunately, stories like these have become common enough that many buyers now ask the same question before purchasing: will this TV actually last? The truth is, buying a television in 2026 isn't just about picture quality anymore. It's about making sure your investment doesn't become an expensive mistake. And before we reveal the brands you should think twice about, you need to understand why modern TVs can vary so dramatically in long-term reliability. The biggest reason comes down to cost. Competition in the TV industry has never been more intense, and manufacturers are under constant pressure to deliver larger screens with more features at lower prices. When a 6.5-inch 4K smart TV sells for just a few $100s, something has to give. In many cases, those savings come from internal components you never see: power supplies, LED backlights, cooling systems, processors, and other parts that quietly determine how long a TV keeps working. On paper, two TVs may look almost identical, but what's inside can make a huge difference after years of daily use. One of the most common failure points is the LED backlight system. Budget models often rely on less robust components or aggressive brightness settings that can place additional stress on the backlight over time. When those LEDs begin to fail, owners may notice dark patches, flickering, uneven brightness, or unusual color shifts across the screen. Another area is the power supply, which is responsible for delivering stable electricity throughout the TV. If that board degrades, the television may suddenly refuse to turn on or begin shutting down unexpectedly. Even the processor matters. Lower-powered chipsets can make smart TV menus feel slow today, and software updates over the next few years may only make that experience worse. This doesn't mean every affordable TV is destined to fail, and it certainly doesn't mean every expensive TV will last forever. Reliability varies from model to model, even within the same brand. That's exactly why this video isn't about fear, it's about making smarter buying decisions. We've researched consumer feedback, long-term ownership experiences, professional reviews, and overall value to identify the TV brands and product lines that deserve extra caution before you spend your money. So with that in mind, let's begin the countdown. Number 5. Hisense. Entry. Level A. Series models. Starting our countdown at number 5 is a brand that often surprises people: Hisense. Now, before the comments explode, let's make something very clear. This isn't a criticism of every Hisense TV. In fact, the company's U-Series has earned praise from many reviewers for delivering excellent value. The concern is with some of the entry-level models, particularly the A-Series, where aggressive pricing can lead to more noticeable compromises. This is why researching the exact model, not just the brand name, is so important. At first glance, these budget TVs can look like incredible deals. Large 4K screens, smart TV features, and attractive prices make them hard to ignore. But once you move beyond the marketing, you'll often find limitations that become more noticeable with everyday use. Owners frequently mention inconsistent panel quality, uneven backlighting, slower smart TV performance, and motion handling that struggles during sports or fast-paced movies. Not every unit has these issues, but reports suggest consistency isn't always the strongest point in this price category. The biggest mistake buyers make is assuming every TV carrying the Hisense logo delivers the same experience. That's simply not how today's TV market works. The U-Series and higher-end models compete in an entirely different class than the company's budget lineup. If your budget points you toward Hisense, spending a little more for a U-Series model can be a worthwhile investment. But if you're considering the cheapest options available, make sure you read reviews for that exact model before checking out. Number 4. Insignia. Coming in at number 4 is Insignia, a brand you'll see almost everywhere inside Best Buy, especially during major sales events like Black Friday. The combination of low prices and easy availability makes these TVs incredibly tempting. For a guest room or occasional use, they may fit the bill. But if you're shopping for the television you'll rely on every day for years, this is where many buyers begin to have second thoughts. One challenge with Insignia is consistency. The brand sources products through contract manufacturing, meaning designs and components can vary between different generations and models. As a result, long-term ownership experiences are mixed. While many owners are perfectly satisfied, others report issues such as backlight failures, televisions that suddenly stop powering on, or software performance that becomes noticeably slower over time. These experiences don't affect every unit, but they appear often enough that they're worth considering before making a purchase. The biggest lesson here is simple. A low purchase price isn't always the lowest long-term cost. Saving a little money today doesn't feel like a bargain if you're replacing the TV much sooner than expected. If your budget allows, moving up to a stronger mid-range model from a more established lineup can often provide a better balance of performance, reliability, and overall value over the life of the television. Before we reveal the brands that rank even higher on this list, take 1 second to hit that like and subscribe button. We spend hours researching these guides so you can avoid expensive buying mistakes. Now, let's continue with the brands that deserve even more caution. Number 3. RCA. Taking the number 3 spot is a name almost everyone recognizes. RCA. For many people, it brings back memories of a brand that helped shape the television industry. But today's RCA TVs are very different from the products that built that reputation. The brand name is now licensed to other manufacturers, and that change has created a much less consistent buying experience than many shoppers expect. The biggest issue isn't a single feature or specification, it's predictability. 2 RCA TVs may look nearly identical on the shelf, yet the overall build quality, software performance, and long-term ownership experience can vary significantly depending on the specific model. Buyers commonly report slow smart TV performance, limited picture quality, weaker viewing angles, and reliability concerns that often appear after the warranty period has ended. While some owners have perfectly acceptable experiences, the inconsistency makes purchasing one feel more uncertain than many competing brands. This is where buyer psychology works against you. A familiar logo creates trust before you've even looked at the specifications. Many shoppers assume they're buying into decades of engineering excellence, when in reality, they're purchasing a modern budget television that shares little more than the historic brand name. That's why it's important to evaluate the TV itself, not the nostalgia attached to the logo. Number 2. Westinghouse. Our runner-up is another historic brand whose modern televisions generate mixed reactions. Westinghouse. Just like RCA, today's Westinghouse TVs carry a well-known name, but they're designed primarily to compete in the ultra-budget segment where keeping prices low is the highest priority. On paper, the value can seem impressive. Large screen sizes, 4K resolution, and smart TV features at very attractive prices make these models difficult to ignore. However, long-term owner feedback frequently mentions hardware issues such as power-related failures, backlight problems, software instability, and overall durability concerns. Not every television experiences these problems, but the volume of similar reports means buyers should research carefully before choosing one. The reality is that Westinghouse can be appealing for shoppers focused almost entirely on upfront cost. But if you're hoping to buy one TV that will remain reliable for many years, spending a little more on a stronger mid-range model often provides better long-term value. A television isn't something most people replace every year, so reliability deserves just as much attention as screen size or price. We've reached the final stage of our countdown, and the number 1 brand on this list has generated even more concern among long-term owners. Before you spend your money, you'll want to hear why it earned the top spot. Number 1. Element. The biggest gamble. And now, we've reached the number 1 spot. If you've been thinking about buying the cheapest big screen TV you can find, this is the brand you'll want to research very carefully before making a decision. At number 1 is Element. At first glance, Element TVs can look like incredible bargains. You'll often find large 4K smart TVs at prices that seem almost impossible to ignore. For buyers on a tight budget, that's exactly what makes them so tempting. But this is also where the biggest risk begins. While many customers have perfectly acceptable experiences, Element also generates a significant number of online complaints involving early hardware failures, inconsistent quality, and frustrating ownership experiences, compared with many better-established competitors. The reported issues vary from model to model, but recurring complaints include televisions that won't power on, backlight failures, screen defects, software instability, and performance problems developing after months or a few years of use. As with every brand on this list, these issues don't affect every unit, but the frequency of similar reports makes Element one of the riskier choices if long-term reliability is your top priority. Saving money on day one doesn't feel like a bargain if you're replacing the TV much sooner than expected. Another concern frequently mentioned by owners is the warranty and repair experience. Large televisions are expensive and difficult to transport, and depending on the situation, obtaining service can become inconvenient or costly. Even when a repair is technically covered, the overall process may be more frustrating than buyers expect. That's why the purchase price should never be the only number you look at. The ownership experience after the sale matters just as much as the price on the shelf. So, does that mean every inexpensive TV is a bad purchase? Absolutely not. The real lesson isn't to avoid affordable televisions altogether, it's to avoid buying based on price alone. A little extra research can save you hundreds of dollars and years of frustration. So now that we've covered the brands and product lines that deserve extra caution, let's switch gears and talk about how to choose a TV that delivers better value, stronger reliability, and a much smarter long-term investment. The Smart Buy. How to choose a TV that actually lasts. Now that we've covered the brands and product lines that deserve extra caution, let's focus on what really matters: how to buy a TV you'll still be happy with years from now. The goal isn't to spend the most money. It's to spend your money wisely. A smart purchase isn't the cheapest TV on the shelf. It's the one that delivers the best balance of performance, reliability, and long-term value. Rule number 1. Don't chase the lowest price. Ultra-cheap TVs often grab attention because the deal looks too good to ignore. But remember, every manufacturer has a target price to hit. When that price drops extremely low, compromises are usually made somewhere inside the TV. Spending just a little more can often get you a significantly better processor, stronger build quality, improved picture performance, and components that are more likely to stand the test of time. In many cases, an extra $100 or $200 today can save you from replacing the entire TV a few years later. Rule number 2. Research the exact model, not just the brand. This is one of the biggest mistakes buyers make. Every major manufacturer builds products at multiple price levels, and the experience can vary dramatically between them. One model may be highly recommended by reviewers, while another from the same company receives average feedback. Before you buy, look up professional reviews, long-term owner experiences, and real-world performance for the specific model number you're considering. That extra 10 minutes of research could prevent years of buyer's remorse. Rule number 3. Aim for the mid-range sweet spot. This is where many of the best values exist. Instead of choosing the absolute cheapest TV available, consider stepping up to a well-reviewed mid-range model. Product lines such as TCL's Q Series or Hisense's U Series have earned strong reputations for offering excellent features at competitive prices. If your budget allows, entry-level models from brands like Samsung, LG, or Sony can also provide a more refined ownership experience with stronger software support and better overall quality. No television is guaranteed to last forever, but choosing a proven model from a reputable lineup gives you much better odds of making a purchase you'll enjoy for years instead of regretting after the warranty expires. The final conclusion. So, what's the biggest lesson from this countdown? It's simple. The cheapest TV isn't always the best value. A low price can be incredibly tempting, but if that television develops problems after a short time, the money you thought you saved can quickly disappear. That's why taking a little extra time to research before you buy is one of the smartest investments you can make. Remember, this list isn't saying every TV from these brands will fail, or that every expensive TV will last forever. Every manufacturer builds both stronger and weaker products. The goal of this video is to help you recognize patterns, understand where compromises are most likely to happen, and encourage you to look beyond flashy marketing and doorbuster prices. A television is something you'll probably use for thousands of hours over several years, so reliability deserves just as much attention as picture quality, gaming features, or smart TV apps. If you're shopping today, focus on the exact model you're considering. Read trusted professional reviews, compare long-term owner experiences, and don't be afraid to spend a little more for a better-built TV. In many cases, that small increase in price can mean better components, smoother performance, longer software support, and a much more enjoyable ownership experience. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever bought a TV that failed much sooner than expected? Or do you own a model that's been running perfectly for years? Share your experience in the comments below, because your feedback could help someone else avoid an expensive mistake. If this guide saved you time, money, or even one bad purchase, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more honest TV reviews, buying guides, rankings, and future tech comparisons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.